Good morning, everybody. We're back again here on Sports Chat.
Everyone's always right for an upset in the first round because those teams that they're playing are conference champions.
If somebody can afford to pay me $120 million, how much money you think they got?
Well, here we are back again live here on another Saturday morning here on Sports Chat. John, what's going on with you, sir?
Man, I can't call it.
Can't call it. Can't call it. Looking good as always.
Thank you. We
All right,
heading into the NBA playoffs right around the corner.
NBA playoffs next Saturday.
Yeah, my Tigers is in first place.
Oh, they're playing well.
Should have swept the Yankees, but that's all right. We gave y'all one.
Get them now. Get them now while we ain't got no pitching before they get it together.
But yeah, man,
We're
chilly for
gonna
April.
discuss that in a few minutes. But yeah, so good to see you this Saturday morning. What you been up to this past week?
This week, not much, man. I went over to good old Clinton Street last night. They started their young people's revival, so I went over there. Heard my good friend Pastor Joe Henry, who you should call. He's a really good young preacher. And just waiting to talk sports, man. That's it.
Oh, that's good. Family doing well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you might hear my wife in the background.
I heard some dishes in the background.
Yeah, I tried to get another spot, so y'all excuse me today. my son in there washing the dishes. So
well, yeah, that's right. Get them doing those dishes.
train them up.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, well, so listen, we got the national champions have been crowned both on the men and women's side. We got UConn won it on the women's, and they beat South Carolina down again.
I mean, beat them like they stole something. That was.
That was the second time they.
Well, yeah,
they broke. I think South Carolina had won like 72 games in a row at home. And then in February, UConn went in and spanked them at home by 30 something. So
it's to me, it's like, man, Gino. I know some people don't. It's women's basketball, which doesn't resonate with as many people, but
right,
you got to be impressed with that guy, man, and what he's been able to accomplish in his career. 12-1 in championship games.
Well, 12-1 in championship games. 24 Final Four.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Insane. I wonder why he never tried his hand in men's. Maybe he just figured that was his lane.
I guess he's comfortable in what he was doing. And I guess he figured, why should I when I'm doing so well?
Yeah, it was
where I am.
Just a remarkable coach, man, and it's just like it just phenomenal. I was surprised at the result. I love Dawn Staley. I think she's one of the up and coming coaches, and she's really, really turned that program around. And coincidentally, his only loss in the finals was to her. So
yeah,
but you could see, even though South Carolina was the number one seed this year and they won, they didn't. What's the young lady they had last year? The tall
Cardosa.
They didn't have a Cardosa this year.
No, and they had that wing last year too.
Yeah,
that was good. Those two definitely made a difference for that team.
I just think
good veteran presence.
Yeah, and Paige Becker just wasn't going to be denied this year.
Yeah, because like I say, Carolina had they really had nobody to go to take.
No, no. They
Yeah,
lacked
absolutely
that
right.
one super go to player, and it was
Well,
more by
in
committee.
which we discussed last week. I was saying that last week. Remember how I they they had multiple. Somebody was stepping up from game to game, but they really had no look. When the rubber hits the road, this is what we're
Yeah,
going to do.
we
This,
need a bucket. Let's go
yeah,
get it.
right,
And
right.
man,
Whereas
that being
UConn
said,
had both. They had Flood and Becker.
yeah, yeah. But that being said, I still was surprised that I know they beat them in a similar fashion earlier, but I just thought, championship, and they got beat worse than they
Yeah, well,
did.
and uh, their defense was spot. I mean, but UConn just got on that road
Yeah,
because
yeah,
again, this was uh from maybe January on, UConn finally had everybody together.
yeah, yeah.
You
And
know,
again,
and
Paige just wasn't gonna be denied this year.
you know she was
It
ready. She
was
came
it was
ready.
her year. It was her
Yeah,
year.
she
So
came ready. Well,
hats off.
and the thing is she's been injured, so she had a lot to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
So more hat goes out to her, and you go through those emotional levels, and getting
Yeah,
back into your shape mentally and physically. So it was her time to shine,
yeah. Which
and
is
that
cool.
she did. I mean, she dropped 40 in one game, one tournament game.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
she
I mean,
she just took over. I mean,
it
took
was it
over.
was it was great. I mean, it was a great run.
Well, and
Um,
you know what I like about it though is uh she looks smooth doing it too.
hmm. Yeah,
That's a thing with basketball. You got a lot of people but some people just look good
yeah,
doing it.
yeah. Well, I think that's not to transition to pro, but to transition to pro a little bit. When statistically, if you talk about like Kobe and LeBron,
Uh,
statistically, LeBron is superior
right,
statistically.
right.
But the eye
The
test,
eye, the eye.
that eye test,
Woo,
that Kobe he was a beast, man. He was a
yeah.
beast.
Well, and again, along with the great debate, right? The LeBron and the Jordan. That there's one Jordan made it look good.
Yeah,
He looked
their
good doing it.
games were a lot prettier than LeBron James. Just aesthetically, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. But
Now
but again,
listen.
the athletic ability and the IQ and the stats now, uh, and here's the thing though, both Kobe and Mike, they're 6'6", 6'7".
Mm-hmm.
It's different. It's totally different when somebody's 6'9", 250 plus
He's
doing what
literally
they did. That's a whole nother level.
LeBron James is doing what he's doing. He's literally Carl Malone in terms of
Yeah,
his
with ball handling
with
skill.
ball handling and
Yes,
shooting
sir.
ability, and
Yes.
that's
Yeah. Yep.
so. I mean, it's extreme, but again, and it's going back to it's just the style of play with LeBron, with Kobe, with Jordan. I mean, I get it. But just raw nut. By the time this dude retires,
Oh, the
it's it's
now
going.
uh, and we all there's all they always talking about records being broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I don't think I can't see it. I
Nobody's
can't
touching
see it.
50,000 plus career
I
points.
I, I can't see it.
That'll
I
never happen.
mean, I probably won't be around when it happens, but I can't see it.
I think what and Colin Cowherd, who I rarely agree with, he made a very interesting point about LeBron. He said LeBron James is like Law and the TV series Law and Order.
Hmm,
It's
hmm.
just like it's been on for years and
Right.
years, but it's still one of the top rated shows.
Yeah.
even after. So, because if it's one thing to scream longevity. Okay, well,
Right.
if you
But
want to talk about,
to still have
but you
top
gotta
rating.
be good. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Longevity,
That's
just for
like
longevity's sake.
that's
It's
like the probably one of the longest running shows ever, right? Well, The Simpsons, right?
The
Matter of
Simpsons.
fact, it's still on, right? They're still
30
on.
years and counting. Yeah, crazy.
And and so and that's the thing. They're still on as up to date stuff, not you know,
Mm-hmm.
not the old, I mean, they're also in what's the name now too, syndication now too, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still coming on Sundays.
It's amazing.
And I
They're still in prime
how,
time TV.
how long what's the name's been on too, right? Did it was last year the last year for them, or is it
Who?
this year? Grey's Anatomy.
That's been on. Yeah,
It's been
my
on a
kids
long time.
been on long. But it's one thing to be on long. Again, Dirk
Yeah,
Nowitzki played 20 years, but he was averaging 7 points a game in his 20th year.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
So let's not just pretend. Vince Carter played 22 years. He
right.
ain't nowhere near what So it's not just about longevity. It's about being skilled and
Yeah.
still being able to play at the dude. This year, now he just fell under 25 points, but you talking 24 points a game, those numbers are first team All American number. You know what I'm
And
saying?
actually, the primary reason he fell under is because since February, uh, Luca was there,
Luca, yeah, Luca.
and
And
so
I'm
and that that's another topic. I first of all, because you saw Luca some, but you didn't see him a whole lot. But I've seen him more now than I did the prior 6 or 7 years. Right? I mean, he's not quick, not fast,
not at all. That's what's so
but
funny.
uh, the boy gets to the hoop. It's
He
unbelievable.
gets it's just it's almost like he goes in slow
Slow
motion.
motion,
It's just like it's the most unorthodox, but it works
but
for
it
him.
works.
It's so
I
fun.
mean, effective. It's like
It's
it's
so
like I'm
funny.
I'm I'm slow, not quick, but I'm getting to my spot,
He's
and there's nothing you're gonna do.
super slow. It's not like he's just slow. He's super slow. But I mean, listen, man. I don't look. They
Well,
got a shot.
when I see him, I'm gonna tell him though, you get to that bucket, shoot the ball, don't
Yeah,
pass it out.
yeah. Well, I mean, he does that a lot, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
uh,
mean,
uh,
the guys are open, but
guys are
you're
open.
right at
But
the
you got
cup.
the shot, yeah. But that's
Yeah.
just, it's just the way guys are programmed to play. Did you see that game the other night with Tyler Hero? They're down. They're down 5 points with like 50 seconds left.
Mhm.
He gets a steal, so he got a clear lane to the basket.
Right.
Nobody's within 10 feet of him. Pulls up at the three and shoots instead of taking the clear.
And they had plenty of time for another
He
possession.
had there was nobody on that end of the court. It
Yeah.
was by himself. You
Yeah.
didn't need a three at that point. Take the sure two, play good defense, and get the ball. But it's just like
Well, and that happened to the guy too, Houston, Monday night, right? They were down what, two? Or were they down three?
who were they
The last
playing?
the last possession. When they
I'm,
came down
oh, they were down two. They were down
yeah,
two.
they were down two. Get to the cup.
And then he got up, jumped, came down,
And yeah,
caught the
can't
ball, and he
touch it.
couldn't touch it. It was
Because he
just
should
like,
have been going to the hoop.
what a way to end that game. That
Oh
that
my goodness.
ugh.
Oh,
Yeah, now
I
that
mean, and
hurt.
that's the thing. He made one pass, the guy gave back to him. You should go to the cup. And the thing is, you have four guys out top. Nobody was down low.
Yeah, I was pulling for Houston too, man. I wanted them to win that game.
Nobody
Um,
was down low.
Yeah. So, but that's where the and again, man, I don't like it is what it is. So me complaining about it ain't gonna change. It is what it is. But I just that three, man, it's just killing the.
Yeah,
I could not believe Tyler Hero. You were the only
I believe it.
person.
I believe it.
You
It's
had
like
a clear
and
path to the
you
basket.
you and you've seen it because you were the exterminator, right? You know how you turn the lights on and the roaches scatter, right? It's like it's like fast break. Instead of going to the lane, everybody scatters out
Everybody
to the corner.
scatter, and all they
Yeah,
do is sit and camp around that 3 point
camp
line.
around the three.
I said, this is everything that's wrong with the NBA
And
in
and
one
and
shot.
and not only that, if you go to the hole, there's nobody there to block your shot.
There's nobody. There was nobody in.
Nobody there.
He got a steal. It was a fast break. He was the
You
only one. He could have
if
went
you
straight to
beat
the
your man
basket and laid
off
it
the
in.
dribble, you got a full lane.
It was a full lane to the basket. Like nobody was down there. He had a full lane.
Yeah.
And he stopped at the 3 point line, shot it and missed it. Came back around. They got the rebound, tossed it around. He hits a corner three. So that's a 5 point swing. You didn't get the two, the sure two, and then you gave up a three on the other end. 5 point swing.
I was watching the game last night, Houston and LA, and Hachimuro's gonna be on Shackton.
Is he? I see. I didn't even bother. I
He
knew
got
Houston
blocked
was
by
resting their
a rim on the dunk. But I mean, went straight up. Just I mean, no, the rim blocked him, not the player, the rim. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he'll be on sack in the future. But I knew Houston was resting player. I didn't even bother to
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah, they rested their start because they were already. Uh,
They
but
locked into the two
thank you, Houston. You allowed us to
to lock the three in.
to lock the three down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, which is
Win
a
50
which
games.
yeah,
Won
50
the play.
games.
I
Hats
mean,
off to you, JJ. Gotta give you
so
credit. Give you
JJ,
props.
look, I
Give
was very questionable of that hire when it happened.
very everybody cautioned them. Um, he won 50 games. The first time they've been not in the play-in since the play-in
Yeah,
started.
yeah, yeah. That's saying something, man. I mean,
So is
look,
this the third year for the play-in or the fourth? I think it's the third, right? Fourth.
this is the fourth year, I believe.
Yeah. So this is the first time in the 4 years they weren't in the play-in.
Yeah, that's
50 wins.
Pacific. Didn't they win the Pacific?
Well, they don't really do divisions no more. It's just
Oh, okay.
Western Conference.
Western Conference, East Conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, they got a shot. I don't know if they'll win the title. I still think they're a big away. Um, I don't think. I mean, Jackson Hayes. What's his name? Jordan Jackson.
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes. Good
Well,
energy
well,
guy. Good. But
he's their best big man. But we talked about it before. Uh,
that's not saying
he
much
would
if
be an
he's your best.
outstanding six man.
Yeah, I think he's better. I mean, listen, you got to hold it together with bandages and tape right
Yeah,
now.
well,
So he'll
we're
do, but you can't go into next season with
we're
him as
gonna
your
get
starting center.
we're gonna get killed in the slow down playoff
Yeah,
uh
yeah,
inside because we have nobody inside defensively either.
yeah, yeah. I
So,
mean,
but if if they hit their shots, they'll be in any
yeah,
series. But they
yeah.
have to you gotta hit your shots.
Now let's talk about Denver real.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna get to that.
what was
What
that?
in the first of all, Memphis fired their coach
They
last
fired
week,
their coach. Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then I mean, you fired Mike Malone, been there 10 years, who got you a championship. Well, and not only that, they fired the GM too.
yeah. Have you heard? I've been trying to get
Well,
like.
I guess apparently, remember the Denver team that won the chip. Uh, that team was chosen by a different GM. It wasn't the GM that they have now.
Mm-hmm.
GM they have now just came, I think, last year or 2 years ago, or after the championship. Him and Malone didn't get along,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so it's been kind of a power struggle with Malone and this GM guy they have presently. Uh, I guess upper management wanted Malone to play the younger guys. That Pickett guy, they got a guy, Coach
Mm-hmm.
Pickett and a couple other guys. Where Malone was going with Westbrook and some of the veteran guys instead of the younger guy, and so they were button heads. So I guess, and they were saying how Malone had kind of, Malone old school coach,
Mm-hmm.
and so
Well,
uh,
his father was the coach with the Pistons, Brendan
back
Malone.
back in January, February, uh, he at the press conference he kind of held, he just called them out. He goes, "Yeah, these guys don't look at film. They need to watch the film of this game because they're not playing no defense." That's what. So I mean, talking about it was his team. He's the coach. He got a
Mm-hmm.
right to
Mm-hmm.
say that. But these guys nowadays are so sensitive and babies and pampered. Uh, and so they said they apparently they were saying he's lost the locker room and stuff like that. So, but you fire him with 3 games left in the
That's
season.
fighting for the 3 seed. It ain't like
Well,
they
I
were in the
guess I
play-in.
guess I heard too that they said they 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 wanted to fire him because they didn't want Denver to get on a run and possibly go to the conference finals or whatever, and then fire him after that because then
So it
everybody
was a.
like, oh,
So they're
so
afraid of the PR. In other
yeah,
words.
they're afraid of them looking good. Well, because they said they were gonna fire him earlier in the season, but they went on an 8-game winning streak a little while ago, and so so I guess it's been sketchy pretty much all year. So they decided to let him go with 3 games left. So you have no GM and you got an interim coach
And entering the most important stretch of the season.
of the season.
We gonna put an interim coach in and try to go win
Right,
it.
right.
I
So
guess
you
he
got
trying
a
to
you
do
got
the
a whole
Steve.
new voice going into the playoffs.
I guess he trying to do the Steve Fisher move with
This
Michigan.
this is not the NCAA, buddy. This is pro
you gonna go
basketball.
you gonna go on a win streak like Michigan did in 1989, I guess.
Right,
So
right.
weird.
You
But
don't have any Jamil Robinsons and Glenn Rices on your.
now you got
But you
your
do got the Joker though.
you got the Joker. Listen, man.
But
Listen.
there's no Sean Higgins and Terry Mills around.
I think Joker's at the point where they're gonna have you can legitimately give him MVP every year at this point.
Yeah, at this point.
They're gonna have to start discriminating against him. Like, look, like that, like when they gave it to Joel Embiid the other year, and it's just like
Yeah,
he whined and cried about it until they gave it to
right,
him. But
right.
you really could have
Yeah,
gave it to
yeah,
Joker that year.
right. Well,
So
yeah, I mean, because really, uh, the last 5 to 6 years, uh, the two guys who probably deserve who probably could have won it is Joker or Giannis.
yeah,
One
but
of them two.
Joker is putting that 61 point triple double in a loss. By the
That's
way,
just crazy.
I'm just like
That's just crazy.
this dude is insane.
Yeah, yeah,
And then you got people saying, well, he wouldn't last in the days of the great centers and da 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 da. Da. Look, I'm. This is my main reason why I don't like really do GOAT conversations and it's just like, first of all, you don't know. How do you know?
right. What they will
Prove
be
it.
able to do.
How you gonna prove it?
Can we appreciate the people what they're doing
Yeah,
now?
I'm like leave the '90s in the
Can can
'90s.
can we let them do what they do now
Hey,
and enjoy it?
just enjoy who we got now. Y'all
Yeah,
was complaining in the '90s. It wasn't enough scoring. It was
right.
just,
It
you know what I'm
all was it
saying?
was too hard, too
And
rough.
now all of a sudden, those are the glory years. It's just like,
Yeah.
dude, just
Well,
come
well,
on.
but you know how life goes. Everything is magnified after the fact, right?
Yeah, but people
Your
fall in
stories,
love
your
with
memories.
yesteryear. We love memories. We love yesteryear. I get it, but that don't mean it was better. They couldn't handle the athleticism of these guys today. The modern medicine, the training. I
Right.
mean,
That
you know,
goes into it. Yeah.
but the thing is, people speak about this stuff like it's fact. We all guessing. Ain't nobody invented a time machine and went back and you know what I'm saying? We all
Right.
guessing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people think that your opinion is fact. I don't mind people having an opinion. But good Lord, you think it's fact.
And get offended if you don't agree.
And get mad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. I used to be on a lot of those basketball pages on social media, and
Uh-huh.
I logged out of all of them, man, because it's just like, first of all, the only thing they want to talk about is Jordan and LeBron James. That's just what all of them.
I did you see the text that Ron sent us this morning about the interview with
Yeah,
Juju and
yeah.
the other kid? I loved it. Because they the pivot guys were trying to squeeze them about the NIL and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
they were literally they were so good. They were like, I Juju's like, I really don't see any in the financial. You go, that's my father, my brother, and so you go. My main focus is to go play football and try to excel at what I'm supposed to. I was like, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
That's it. That's it. But it's a different day, man. I look. I can appreciate each era. I can appreciate the '90s. I can appreciate the '80s. Remember, I grew up in the '80s, man. I watched bully ball.
Well, and listen, I stayed up. I stayed up at 11:30 at night to watch a pre-recorded game 6
Yeah,
of the Lakers and the Sixers.
yeah. Tape delay.
Tape
Unbelievable.
delay. When the sports came on the news, me and Tanya literally turned the TV down so
Cause
we
you
wouldn't
didn't,
hear who
cause you
won.
didn't want to hear who
Didn't
won.
want to hear who won.
Boy, that was
And
a
matter of
different
fact,
day.
we turned it we turned the channel to another station and
Uh-huh.
then watched the game when it came back on.
That was a
Literally,
different day.
literally watching the game nervous, a pre-recorded game nervous like it was live.
Wow. Wow.
When Magic them beat the Sixers.
Now you got $1 billion TV contracts. That's
Yeah,
crazy,
it's
man.
crazy,
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's
I,
crazy.
I know. Who was they were saying uh when I think it was a Magic got their first $1 million contract
Mm. I know
and
Moses Malone was one of the first ones that.
well no well that's the thing. Magic got the remember Magic had it was $1 million for I don't know 10 years or something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
so Dr. J said literally him and Moses, uh, and everybody was like cheering because it was like, oh snap,
Yeah.
finally, right? And so yeah, again, uh, and because everybody, like I said, they're always compare, even especially on the entertainment side, right? Sports, music, right? Oh, our music was better this time, and blah
Yeah.
blah. Uh,
Which is
but
natural. I
appreciate
get
the
it.
people for what they're doing now.
But which is a natural thing. Of course, they're going to be comparison. But my thing is, I'm fine with, and especially when it comes to like Jordan is the GOAT and this and that. Understand it's an opinion. It's not a fact.
Right.
It's not a fact. It's an opinion that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Now, again, if however you want to support your opinion is cool. I don't have a problem with that. But at the end of the day, understand that it's just that. It's an opinion. It's not a fact.
Well, just an opinion from last night. I don't know if you saw it yet, where Isaiah Thomas was saying how how LeBron comes out shoot around with no shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about that?
I mean, okay, that's fine. I didn't have too much of a problem with it. You
Yeah,
know,
that to me that's kind of old man off my grasses
yeah,
type.
yeah.
I mean, and Uh, I kind of understand what he's saying,
Look,
but
man, boxing a boxer will box 15 rounds with
well,
no.
I can see now. There's a difference in
Whatever.
pre-game warm up than pre-game when the game getting ready to start.
But even that, I mean,
Yeah,
like,
that I mean, when the game getting ready to start, you're not out there without your shirt on, because the game. But this is before the game. You're going back into the locker room to get dressed for the game. So it's really like a workout, really.
yeah, yeah. I don't care. I mean, it's a three. Look, like I say, we'll watch a boxer box for 15 rounds with no shirt on. Yeah, whoop de
Yeah,
doo. He didn't
that's
have.
true.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't have a
Yeah.
shirt on.
Or
Okay.
or people go see sumo wrestlers and their big self.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, what are we doing? Are
Yeah.
we? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
That level of
We got to
nitpicking.
find something to complain
And
about, I
listen, I
guess.
love, anybody that knows me. Isaiah Thomas is my favorite athlete of all time, regardless of sport. I
Right.
love Isaiah Thomas, but I mean, I don't. That's the old get off my
Well,
lawn
yeah, 'cause that was back
mentality.
when remember they used to have a problem with King Griffey wearing his hat backwards,
Yeah, wearing his hat backwards. Yeah, just
and and he said he wasn't trying to make statement. He just did it because he could see the ball better
mm-hmm,
in batting
mm-hmm.
practice, right?
Whoop de doo.
And so, but it became an issue because oh, you don't wear your baseball. That's disrespectful to the game, son.
You know
Wearing
what
your
it remind me of? Remind me when those politicians who shall remain nameless was complaining about Obama
Obama with the tan
with
suit.
the cancer. That's the level of petty it sounds
Yeah,
to me. You know what I'm saying? Just like,
yeah.
for real, this what we talking about? For real?
Well, and John, the thing about it, you could be, and you have that petty in all aspects of life, right? You got
Yeah,
it everywhere. Your home, even in your home,
yeah,
right? Your children, at church, the people. Some things are just petty.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he spoke like somebody who was from a different era, and
Yeah,
that's
no doubt about it.
and I'm okay
He
with that. But
he
I didn't.
showed his 60 something plus
He
age.
showed his 60+ years, and I'm
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Because
I'm okay
I,
with that.
I I tell you, as a 60-year-old person now, uh, and the people with the way they wear their hair and all the tats and stuff, it's just not too becoming to me. But I mean, that's this generation, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't think that much of it. I mean, could he have put a shirt on? Okay, yeah, fine. But I mean, I
Yeah,
didn't.
I've never thought twice about it, really.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have said anything about it, I wouldn't even. It wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
It would.
I
I wouldn't
just
even. It wouldn't
because
even really
I
caught
just
my
saw it
attention.
this morning too. I must and I was watching NBA TV because that's the channel the game was on last night. But I
Mm.
must have missed that part
Yeah.
when they were there. But yeah,
No big deal to me. No big deal
and,
to me. Yeah,
and it's just
you
the
know.
NBA. It's like the Allen Iverson thing all
Yeah,
over again.
yeah, the cornrows and
Cornrow,
yeah,
right? And the jeans, and they came up with you got to have a collared shirt, and could you imagine uh uh Stern now? Oh my God, he probably flipping over.
yeah. I mean, coaches don't wear suits on the sidelines
No,
anymore.
exactly. They wear these,
Yeah, there was a time. I
right?
don't hear nobody complaining about
Since
that.
since COVID changed the suits right to these,
hmm
right?
I mean, Chuck Daly and Pat Riley, they were,
Yeah, right.
they were
Well,
dressed like.
and that's the thing, when it comes to there was a time, if you go back in the 60s and the 50s at baseball games,
Mm-hmm.
all the men had on suits and top
Mm-hmm.
hats.
Mm-hmm.
That that's
Mm-hmm.
because that's what society wore,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I'm not. Listen. I'm the one. I'm never the guy that was just again. And now again too. excuse me, I don't want to be a hypocrite because there are traditions that I do like and want to preserve, and I wish
Right.
we would go back to, especially in like the areas of college football. But I mean, listen, you already,
You can forget about those coming back. Ain't no money in that.
yeah. Me and my nephew was talking about that this morning, and it's just like, how much is enough? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much is enough?
Yeah, that's why I was glad to hear uh Juju and the other young
Mm-hmm.
man statement when they was asking them the court, because they were trying to press him. Hey, y'all get in the bag. It was like, we don't really. That's not really our concern, really. Good answers. Uh,
Yeah,
and, they keep that mentality. They'll do well.
yeah. I just,
Well, and I loved it. Cause Juju goes, yeah, he goes, yeah, but NIL is not NFL money.
right, right. I mean, let's
Right. He
not,
said so, and he said my long range goal is to get to the league. So,
yeah.
yeah, good perspective. You got to keep things in the right
I
perspective.
love it, and I love it when people can show that type of
Yeah, maturity at
maturity,
17.
especially at that age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Well, again, because he understands the work that goes.
mm-hmm,
There's
mm-hmm.
some young people who are riding it because they don't they don't see the work. You know.
What they don't see, they see it's like I mentioned this in a message one time. It's like they see the car that the athlete drives,
Right, but they don't know how much it
but they
costs.
don't see the midnight getting up, going
Right. and,
outside.
and, and and they don't know they had to put in the work to have the credit
Yeah, it's like
or the
all you
money
see,
for that vehicle.
you see the finish line. You don't see
Right.
the
That
the
all that goes into it.
the process. And so, I
Yeah.
mean, these athletes are amazing, man, for what they have to. That's why I don't, people will talk about guys like Kwame Brown and he was a scrub. And like, look, man, this guy made it to an NBA roster.
He didn't make it to the roster. Stuck
and,
around too. I
and
mean,
stuck around. It ain't like he was
stuck
gone
around.
2 years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
You know
and
how hard that is?
and we're guilty because again, when the people now the starter, he don't even play. Yeah, but he's on the team.
Bro, he's getting an NBA paycheck.
Right.
He was gonna. Do you know how many limited the NBA every year has a 2 round draft of
Um,
64 players,
how many teams is it? 30?
32.
32? Is that football's 32?
I
How
think.
many NBA?
Oh, I'm gonna ask Siri. I'm gonna see if Siri get it right with her dumb self.
Yeah, so it's just 2 rounds
Siri,
now.
how many NBA teams are there? Let's see if she get it right. 30.
Here's an answer from Ducksters.com and Wikipedia.
30 NBA teams.
So
So you
there,
have a
there's
total of 60
60.
players,
There's just 60 people
60
chosen.
spots
Yeah,
with
yeah, 60 spots.
all of these hundreds of colleges and
Right,
60 spots.
and then everybody else is a free agent.
So to claim one of those 60 spots,
Right,
bro, that's like lottery. That's like, you know what
right,
I'm saying? So
right.
I'll never bag on an NBA player that was good enough to make an NBA roster. That's amazing in and of itself. Um, I used to work where I used to work before I work where I work now. I used to work for the mortgage company out in Pontiac, owned by I'm sure you being a Michigan State alum, Matt Ishbia.
Yeah,
Uh, he's this
on
big,
the Suns now.
yeah, owner of the Suns. Well,
Michigan State guy. Come on, man. Come
Michigan
on.
State guy,
Smart.
exactly. And he was on that 2000 championship team,
Right.
and Mateen Cleaves actually works for him.
Yes.
And I used to, I got to know Mateen very well during that time. I mean, I've
Okay.
been gone for a few years. I don't know if he still remember me, but at the time, I used to see him every day. And I just I was just sitting down. This was my first real up close encounter, literally getting to know personally somebody who had made it to that level. And I used to ask him, I'm like, I was just like, man, when you heard David Stern call your name, like, what did that
What did he
feel
say?
like? What he was like, man, it was just the most you know, you thinking about that day, you got your hoop dreams, you getting up in the middle of the night, going out, turning your garage light on, practicing your jump shot, going
Right,
to
right,
the
right.
gym. You know what I'm saying? But now you're at the point where all of that is about to pay off, and you about to hear the commissioner of the NBA call
Call
you.
your name.
I was
He's
like,
about to hand you the
whoa.
hat.
I said, what did that feel like? You know what I'm saying? Because very few people ever have anything
And
close
and, and,
to a moment like that.
you know, Mateen is like extra with all that energy. So
Yeah, he was
what
like,
he say?
he, you know, and it was one. Listen, I still got his number in my phone. I wonder if I called him if he would. I, but his thing was just like, man, it's. He said it was like two feelings, because number one, it felt unreal. He said it felt unreal just to hear. He said, but in another way, it felt very real because he said, you know what? I worked
So
my
now
tail.
I got to prove myself.
Yeah, I worked my tail off to get here. It ain't
Right,
like this. This didn't just happen. He didn't just call
right.
my name. He was like, look, man, you got to put in the work to get where you. And you know, he was like, I only played 6 years in the league, but still, man, just that experience. He was just like, you know, it seems sort of fairy tale-ish to us because he said, but man, when you work as hard as
Because
some of
we're
these guys
watching it.
do, yeah, we're watching it. But he was
Right.
like, we got to put in the work, get up for those practices. You know, you got to eat right, you got to exercise, you got to. He was like, it didn't feel as much of a fairy tale once you done all the work that you had to do. And I was like, and I understood it from that vantage point because it's like, man, you know how hard you have to work to stand out amongst the crowd of just. There's a
Of
sea of
60
basketball
people.
players in this country. There's a sea of them, and you got to
Yeah.
be one of 60 guys. That's
Right. That hear their name.
I can't. He was like, I was still in awe. I was like, man, I can't imagine what that must have felt like to see that year after year and watch that draft and then you on that stage. He was like,
Right.
man, he was like, it's one of the best feelings I ever had in my life. And
Right.
so I say all that to say, it's like, look, it's I don't bag on anybody. Yeah, he's like, I would have loved to play had a longer career and had made more of an impact on the league. He said, but I made it. I feel like preaching. That sound like a message. I made it. Lord have mercy.
Ah. Well,
Millions
and
didn't
it's funny
make
you
it,
mention that because you know this song, uh, the devil thought he had me, but I got
but
away.
I got away.
And
Mm-hmm.
so one time, one time we was singing it at church, and Bishop and them, they pretty no nonsense.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they're dissecting the words of the song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So uh Bishop said, yeah, he go, y'all singing, y'all got away. He go, but he coming back.
You got away today.
He said, you
Let's
got
see where
away
you
this
at
time.
tomorrow.
He said, but he ain't
But
done
think
with
about it.
you.
He
Right.
ain't lying though. He ain't lying. He's right about that. He is not lying. So
Right. And so and that's the thing. You take those small victories, but know
yeah,
there's still more to come.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, like I say, yeah, nobody can take that moment from them.
Nobody, and I mean, nobody would be able to take it from me. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I tried to live, just what he would tell me a lot about his, because he and Chris Webber got really really close.
Mm.
And wasn't he in the when they? I think he was one of the ones when they had that accident, and who was it?
Oh, it was the Flintstones, wasn't
The
it?
Flintstone. I think it
Mo
was
P.
one. Mo Pete.
Yeah, I think Mo P was in it
Yeah,
too.
he
I
was
think
on the.
Redspurt wasn't Redspurt in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah.
Resper, Mo Pete, and Cleve were
Well,
in the actual.
he got real close with Chris Webber. He said, and just hearing some of the experiences that they had in the league, it's just like, man, I can't imagine just making it to. I mean, look, I just the D League, anything. It's just like I will never bag on anybody
Yeah,
that had
yeah,
that.
just like the Yankees had that catcher that made their squad. His name is Escara. He was playing independent ball. He's like 20, he might be 28 or something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and so he's working odd jobs, playing independent ball, but stayed with it, and he finally
Man,
made it to the major. I mean, you
what's that? What's that guy? It was he had a real short stint with the Lakers.
oh yeah, the one that had 30 some points.
Yeah, what was
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause that was not too long ago.
That was a couple of years ago. What was
Yeah,
it? I remember.
I
I'm
can't
like,
think of his name, but yeah, I know what you're talking
dude,
about.
living a dream right now.
Yeah, came up from the G League,
I
had
wish
30, like
somebody else would have
32.
picked him up. I wish somebody else would. But just
Yeah,
that moment, just having that moment,
that moment. Yeah,
he'll
and
carry
like I said,
that to
no
his
one can ever
grave.
take it from you.
He will carry that to his grave. Like,
Correct.
man, oh man, oh man. And it's just so few people in life get to have those types of moments. So, and just to have
Well,
one.
it's funny because I was talking to Deja the other day, um, and she was saying, yeah, uh, she played little league, and so the guys, and she was like the only girl on her team for 2 years, I think. But all the guys, they liked her. Deja fun. And so she go, Dad, I was thinking about that. She go, um, your friends that you have in elementary school. She said some of them go to middle school with you. She go, then your middle school friends. Some of y'all go to the same high school. She said, but she go because we're talking about Johanna who's graduating in June.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, uh, she goes, yeah. Johanna's like saying now, some of these people I'll probably never see. I go, you won't.
You won't.
I
Yeah.
go, when you walk across that stage and you shake that principal's hand,
Most of them, you'll never see again.
most of them you'll never see again after that day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
and and, and so you think about, and so all those formative years, we're clinging to them. Nobody can tell you, there's some things, some of them that nobody can tell you anything bad about because you're this close, but they turn on you, right? And you may never see them again.
yeah, yeah,
You may
yeah.
never see them. Only the picture in the yearbook if you buy one.
If you, and I mean, yeah, I've caught up with a few of my high school friends on Facebook and social media, but just in terms of everyday occurrence, I haven't,
Right,
I haven't seen any of them.
right, yeah, yeah.
And that's cool. I
But
mean,
no,
I just,
it's good to like I say, it's good to have that. I think it's great when people build relationships that last
oh yeah,
throughout
oh yeah.
lifetime.
And I
Nothing
got a
greater
few of
than
them like that. That I tell you know,
yeah, nothing greater. When you see them, you're actually happy to see them. It's not
mm-hmm,
no
mm-hmm.
no putting on. It's real, genuine. Genuine, real.
Yeah,
And so,
I
and
did.
that's the thing. Now they knock the players. Oh, there's no hatred between the player. So what, people? Can't we get? That's the
But see,
problem
that
now.
was your
No
guy. That
level.
was your guy. I'm gonna tell you who did that. That was your guy, Mr. Pat Riley, with when he was with the Lakers and with the Heat. And it's like that whole hate your opponent. You don't. I'm like, look, man. I don't think even with let's take. I remember Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning, both Georgetown guys,
Right?
extremely close off the court.
Yes. Yes.
You would
Brother
never know how close they were off the court by
on the
watching
court.
them on the court.
Right.
You can make the separation between.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought that was that
Well, yeah,
that
and can
that was
remember,
dumb to me.
uh, you had Magic, Isaiah, and Aguirre. They were.
They were kissing on the court.
They kissing each other to start the game, right? But
When it's,
during those 48 minutes, wasn't no love.
oh, and that's where Isaiah was so where he's like that's where I was so confused with that last dance because he was like he said me and Jordan have been out to dinner since we retired. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right.
He was like we done went out to dinner. I was his.
Well, and you know what too. And here's the thing: one, you want your documentary to make an impact, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and so and especially nowadays, even with all this reality TV and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to script and say something that's not really true in order uh to make it, to get the ratings or whatever. But some things you can't take all personal. And if you've been out to dinner with me, then call me on
Well,
both sides.
that's what I'm saying, and it's like, and I know that. I mean, they released it during the pandemic because people
Yes,
needed something to watch, and I get all that.
right.
But it's like, dude, now the part about it that bothers me is that everybody accuses Isaiah. You know, I'm and look and I listen. I admit my bias. I'm partial. I grew up in the city of Detroit. Look, full disclosure. I grew up in the city of Detroit. I'm partial to the Detroit
Right.
Pistons.
Well, yeah, there's some things that are, it may not have been true, but
That's
they're
my
built in
bias.
because of that.
Yeah, so I have a bias toward. But
Right.
my point is that, and Isaiah even said that he was like, people always accuse him of being the one to keep. He was like, I didn't say. Did you hear me say on the Last Dance that I hate Michael Jordan? I heard him say he hate me.
And
He
that
hate me.
and I think it's being done just to keep it out there on the
Maybe
Jordan side.
so. He
Yeah,
said, but
no
every
doubt
time
about it.
he said the reason why he said, you want to know why I keep talking about Jordan? Cause y'all keep asking me about it.
Right.
To every interview I sit down to do, y'all got questions about Michael Jordan. Don't ask me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody, but you're not gonna touch that
Well,
pristine
and
image.
but we're good. Society's always good at twisting things anyway that you say.
Well, that narrative, he was never going to win the PR battle against Michael Jordan.
Right.
He had the media, the league, everybody was behind him.
Well, uh, I compare this to uh when I was in Little League, right?
Hmm.
And we had to you had to be selected to try out for the All Star team.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I was selected. It was me from our team that year. It was me, the guy named Mike Leonard. I think it was just me and Mike. All right, and our coach from our team was the coach of the All Star team because if you won, if you won the season last year, then you coach the All Star team the
Okay,
next.
that's yeah.
Okay, and so that was the case, right? And so we had, went through the tryout. Mike, I think Mike broke his arm or he broke his no, he did something to his ankle, right? So uh I didn't get picked for the All Star, right? Well, I went up there, so I was like, Coach, what's up, man? You didn't pick, I didn't make the All Star. So you know what he told me? He said he wanted to have me and Mike on there, but since Mike broke his leg, then he chose two guys from another team. I was like, man, right. So I no, no love for me for Mike. Mike broke it. He broke his
Yeah,
ankle.
I
That's
mean,
why I'm yeah.
why you have to suffer because he broke it?
Right. Right. And so, Isaiah felt some kind of way. Chuck Daly's the coach of the Dream Team, and
Yeah.
he's Chuck Daly's best player. He not on there. How does that look? That even looks crazy.
Yeah, and it was really. I mean,
You
you
got
know,
you got you got all you got your whole coaching
maybe it was a
staff
chemistry thing.
as your Team USA staff, but your best player is not on the squad
Yeah, I think Chuck should have did more
to help
to
him
make
out. Yeah,
to help
no
him get
doubt
on the
about it.
team. I don't know what his authority or his power was, but I just think. And then to hear Michael Jordan say he had
And
nothing
and
to
the thing is,
do
back
with
then,
the firing, with him not being on the team, it just
well,
I
yeah,
and
you know,
then later you hear him
the
say
rumor has it
to
that he said
Rod Thorne,
if he plays, I'm not
if
going to
he
play.
play, I'm
So
not playing. But you
yeah,
ain't had nothing to do with you.
right, right.
Don't get me started on him, man.
But as you say too, it's all about marketing.
Yeah, yeah. Which I get. I mean, it's a sport, it's a business, and you want to put.
Right.
Look, Jordan was good for the NBA. Bottom line, he was good for their
Yeah,
body.
sure, sure. And I mean, they dogged him with personal stuff too. We don't you didn't hear much you hear about stuff now
Oh
because of
man,
the
he
media
wouldn't. He
outlets.
wouldn't. With the skeletons that was in, he wouldn't survive in today's.
Woo, could you imagine?
That he wouldn't. He better. He should be grateful he played in
Oh,
the
he
era that
better
he
be
played.
grateful for the era he was in, right? I
He
mean,
didn't. He'd have never survived this era.
could you imagine? Just imagine. It's so funny. I just because I see that clip. You see the clip with President Obama when he says, "Just imagine
Imagine if I did
if
this.
I did some of the things this guy has done." Right? He said, "Can you imagine?" And so, uh, can you imagine LeBron going to Las Vegas or Atlantic City after a championship game?
Please.
Can you
He would.
imagine?
And the fact that I mean, I still think there's some details we missing about his father's death,
Oh
and
yeah, you'll never find
that's
that
what
out.
I'm saying. I don't think it's everything was
Yeah,
copacetic with that.
that's just yeah,
It don't
it's just
pass the
too
smell.
random
It
to
don't
me.
pass the smell test.
Yeah,
And
it does.
he had the leverage and the power. He would literally threaten not to talk to certain publications if they printed certain stories about him.
Well, yeah, and
This ain't even. This is fact.
well, and the thing, and that's like you said, it's so much out there, but then it's so personal too, though. You know what I mean?
But that's a look, and I get that. But a news reporter's job is to report the facts. That's their job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it should be.
Yeah, I'm saying your job is to report the facts and let the facts. You listen. I always talk about. It kills me when celebrities complain about not having privacy. You love the perks of fame.
Right.
You
But
ain't
then there's
complaining
certain things
about
you
it.
don't want out
Yeah,
there.
you can't have it both ways. Now you don't mind when 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 a restaurant has been booked for 3 months solid, no
Right.
tables,
And then you
and
walk
you
in and you
show
take
up
somebody's
and they
spot.
can magically find you a table. You don't have a problem with it
And
then.
and, and everybody else gotta wait two
And
hours.
everybody gotta wait 2 hours, but Michael Jordan show up right this way, Mr. Jordan. You don't have a
Yeah.
problem with it then.
Right.
A game been sold out for months, but they can magically find you a courtside seat. You don't have a problem with it then.
Right.
If you can't just
But
deal with
don't
the
don't
perks.
don't approach me about my situation when I got my
Yeah,
courtside
that's
seat
what I'm
that they gave
saying.
to
You
me.
don't mind the positive coverage and the positive and the perks that you use. So, but there's a downside to being in the spotlight as well, and that's something you got
Well,
to
what
deal.
what what do you think about the other night? Was it Tuesday night when Luca gets kicked out the game
Mm-hmm.
because he was talking to the fan?
Mm-hmm.
The ref
Mm-hmm.
was talking to him, was saying it to him, and the fan even said he was talking. Matter of fact, they rescinded the tell. I mean, you can't do nothing
Don't
about
mean
that,
nothing, right? It's like,
but yeah, to people like, oh, they kicked Luca out in a game like that,
in that
but
game, that hurt because at
Yeah,
that point
they
they
were
could have
ahead
still
when
went
he
in
got kicked
contention
out.
for the 2 seed at
They
that
did
point.
they were up by 1 when he got kicked out. Yeah,
See that's what. Oh
yeah.
well. I mean,
And
but it's just
pick and
that's
choose, right? Uh, not everybody. Only certain ones get thrown out.
well that's it's. I mean, I get it. It's good. The sports is a business, and that's the part that you just have to remain in your mind. It's a
Yeah.
business. I don't believe in the whole NBA conspiracy. They
No,
fix
it's all about.
games,
Look, I mean, let's face
but there's an implicit bias in certain
it. Yeah.
ways.
Well, and my hat goes off to Luca on his return to Dallas. Very emotional. Uh, with the video thing. Matter of fact, I was getting, I felt it too. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
But
You
then
you
for you
you
to
have
come out and you get 45,
that boy put 45 on him. Like, look, I miss y'all, and I hate that I'm not here, but I'm here to
this
win.
was my home. But
I'm here to win
take
a
this.
basketball game, and I'm about to remind y'all
Can
of
you
what y'all
imagine?
let
Though
go.
you're sitting there and everybody saying fire Nico.
Mhm. Oh, I would feel. Look, if I was a Dallas Maverick fan, and I'm what what 25-year-old superstar, not yet in his full prime, and you
Woo!
just coming off an NBA Finals appearance, and you trade him. He deserves every bit of embarrassment that he gets. Because I heard they saying it at all of the sports. Baseball, they said at the Texas Ranger baseball games, they say that chant will break out. They
Oh, really?
yeah.
This all over Dallas, huh?
Dallas Stars, hockey, the whole nine. Everybody in that city, every gas station he stopped at, they should be chanting fire,
Fire
whatever,
Nico.
Nico.
Yeah, but that is funny. Well, and that's the thing about Luca's game. He got a type of game that'll last even when you're old.
That's what I'm saying. That's slow, methodical.
Yes,
He's not
slow,
relying on a bunch of
methodical.
athleticism. He got some legs to his career. That was the most foolish move. I don't think I've ever seen a more foolish move. Seriously. Think about it. I'm like,
He's the guy at the park that you get mad. You want to cover him. Let me cover him, man, because it's ridiculous, right?
exactly. Exactly. I'm like, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? You trade him for a 7, 8 year older injury prone
Yeah,
Anthony
it's
Davis?
been some crazy stuff in the NBA this
What are
right.
we
You had the
doing?
Luca, you got the Malone and the Grizzly firings. Like what in the
Yeah, it's been some
world?
crazy stuff this year.
Crazy,
Oh
crazy,
well.
crazy. All right, well, folks, it's 12 o'clock. Right, we love you here on Sports Chat. Tune in. We'll see you in two. Well, no, probably 3 weeks because the week after that is opening day for Little League. So
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
So
we'll be back probably first Saturday in May, everybody. So be tuning in, looking out for us here on Sports Chat. Ron, enjoy yourself on the beach.
yeah,
Don't
right,
get too
right,
tan. Stop
right.
sending us pictures of your feet. We want to see your
We
feet.
don't want to see your feet. Put
All
your
right.
feet up.
Talk to you later. We love you.
All right. Peace.